also heard you say that skill development and growth requires a willingness to risk failure, which is never easy. And but we know that success doesn't always follow a linear path. And one of the terms that I really like that's in the book is that failure is not permanent, and there's something really liberating about that. Can you talk about how people can and should approach failure in their sporting or professional lives, and how they should respond to it?
Sure. And shout out to John Wooden. I believe he's the one that first said failure's not fatal unless you make it. And that's where the idea of it not being permanent sprung from. Is the other thing is we've got to make sure that we don't make it permanent. Failure only becomes permanent when that's the last thing you ever did. If you miss that final field goal and you quit the sport completely and you live the rest of your life regretting missing that field goal, then you've made that failure permanent. Failure is part of the recipe. I mean, we can't, as human beings, we can't expect to grow and learn and develop unless we're willing to have some failures, because falling down is how we learn to get back up and how we learn the way things aren't done. Watch a child learn to walk, and they are the greatest example of the resilience of the human being and the learning behaviors of human beings. The child will fall, they will not quit. They will not crawl for the rest of their life. That child will fall, and they will get back up, and they'll toddle some more, and they'll keep doing it until they acquire it, and then you can see them actually processing and figuring out, oh, this works and this doesn't. At a very simple level, their brain is starting to sort it out. Failure is just part of the recipe. We have to be willing to bake it in. I was just watching a video by Tu Lam, who owns Ronin Tactics, and Tu was talking about the fact that how can I lead a life that I want? How can I lead people in the way that I want to lead them if I haven't lived the life that I didn't want to live? And his point is how can I teach people to have courage? And how can I have courage if I've never felt what fear is, if I've never experienced fear? How can I teach people to be successful? And how can I understand what success is if I've never failed? We really, truly don't understand success as a construct unless we've failed. If you've just done things a certain way your whole life and never felt failure or success, you'll never understand that you're successful unless you had a failure one day and you're like, oh, I missed that shot. I lost the game. The next game I made the shot. I won the game. Now you know what success really feels like. And so it really struck me when I saw that video, because that's really what it is as a leader, is how can I lead people if I haven't experienced myself? And so now that I've read that, I will tell people, oh, but coach, I failed. Yeah, but you'll never know what success is unless you fail. It's part of the process. It's baked in there. And listen, this is something I always use with my athletes. Failure is just a road sign. It's not a dead end. It's just a road sign.